Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Sangat Ji, I just want to take a couple of minutes to talk a little bit about mental health today, particularly depression. A lot of our Sangat here is aware of and has been affected by a recent tragedy that happened within our community. So that's what's prompted us to raise a bit of awareness about mental health and the local services available. So I think the first step is to understand and recognise depression. So if you have a little look at the board behind me, this is the diagnostic criteria for depression. So this is what we as doctors use to diagnose depression. If you look at the symptoms in bold, the key symptoms, you need at least one of these to be diagnosed with depression. And then under that is the associated symptoms. So these are commonly linked with depression and things that we will ask you about. So you need at least 5 of these symptoms on the board to have a diagnosis of depression. There's lots of different stages of depression. There's mild, there's moderate, there's severe, and obviously the more of the symptoms that you've got that you can see there, the higher the severity of your depression. So for mild to moderate, we would generally recommend counselling, using other services to improve your mental well-being. But if you're falling into that severe category, then I would recommend that you speak to your GP. You may well need medication, you may well need involvement of the secondary mental health services. So I just wanted to make us all aware of services available in South Tyneside. I've actually made a leaflet where I've printed all of this off, so if anybody wants to take it home for reference, then please feel free to do so. The local services then, so the charities that we've got available, firstly is the Samaritans. So this is quite a big, well-known charity. They provide support to people that are distressed, they're struggling to cope, or they're at risk of suicide. So again, I've put all the numbers next to the relevant services. There's WIST, which is focusing on women over the age of 16. So, they support with mental health, as well as physical health and long-term conditions, because these two things can also really negatively impact your mental health. So these can provide counselling, support group, other courses and things. So that's another charity. And then the other one is Age Concern. So this is for anybody over the age of 50 can access this service. Then moving on to other self-referral systems, these services actually work really closely with the mental health team themselves. So the big one in South Tyneside is called Life Cycle. As long as you're registered with a GP in South Tyneside, you can just ring the self-referral number and refer yourself to them. You don't have to go via your GP. So that's for anyone with mild to moderate anxiety or depression. So lots of counselling and CBT services that are available there. You can Google it, have a look at the website. There's lots of things that they offer. Then you've got the initial response service or the crisis team. So this is for anybody who's acutely struggling with the mental health that needs help there and then. So this is a 24/7 service. You can call the number at any time if you need that support. Then lastly, looking at young people, we've got Young Minds. So I've put the website up there. It's for children struggling with their mental health, also support for parents with the children that are struggling with their mental health. So, there's a lot of services available there, and they've got an acute number that you can text as well if you're in crisis as a child or a young person. Khas is quite a big one. Again, I've put the website up there. I direct a lot of my patients to this service and they found it really helpful. So, you can get one-to-one online counselling, and it's quite popular because you can do it via your mobile, tablets, desktops, so it's quite good for the young population. And then you've got CAMS, which is essentially Children and Adolescent Mental Health Service. So if your child is struggling on a more severe level with their mental health, then you need to go to your GP, speak to them, who can then refer you on to CAMS. So lastly, I'd just like to say that unfortunately, in our community, there's a lot of stigma that's attached with mental health. And for this reason, a lot of our community members won't go forward and seek the help that they need. A lot of people might feel weak or ashamed that they've got a mental health condition, and for this reason not seek help. But then, by doing so, things can get worse and escalate quite quickly. So we need to recognise mental health conditions as any illness, any physical health illness, because that's what it is. And that's how we need to treat it. So if you are struggling with your mental health, then please look at the services that we've discussed today and get some help for yourself. And also, if you know anybody that's suffering with their mental health, then please, go up to them, offer them your help, offer them access to these services, because by doing so, you could potentially save somebody's life. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.